Avatar: The Last Airbender, episode 2 of season 3. This episode is really good because I don't know. And some people, I feel like the last few times I've watched this episode, especially when I was younger, I watched this episode and I'm like, why does this fit in the show? Like, it doesn't really matter to anything. Basically, our gang's still hiding out in disguise until the eclipse comes, and essentially, Aang accidentally gets enrolled at a Fire Nation school and starts realizing, hey, there's a lot of propaganda in this school system and that these kids are being indoctrinated into. And I love the great bit of Sokka and Katara pretending to be Aang's parents and stuff like that. But what's really strong about this episode is just the propaganda of like erasing parts of history to make the nation look better. So like, the Fire Nation didn't wipe out an entire group of Airbenders. They had a whole army, and that's why they attacked and things like that. So there's and Aang even like rightfully corrects that. There's moments where they take away freedom of expression through dance or music and things like that. And Aang's up throwing like a whole party for them and showing them dance and showing them parts of their culture that had been hidden away. It very much feels equivalent to some of the stuff that we would have seen in Germany during World War II and things like that, banning certain ways of expressing yourself that they deem evil or wrong. And it also does feel similar to the way the current education system in America and other countries is, trying to take away freedom of expression and erase parts of history. And so, yeah, so, for some people, this might seem like a filler episode, but in a lot of ways it isn't because the show is a series set during a war, and you are seeing how indoctrination during war times is pressed onto children, which is very important considering the fact that we are seeing more of the Fire Nation this season and seeing sides of Zuko and Azula who were very much bred in this conflict. And I know they're not as young as the kids in this episode, but you very much see an idea of what they were probably taught as kids, what was probably pushed onto them as children, and things like that. So I think it's very much important to understand this side of this conflict. That's a very interesting idea that's is really well done. So I love that. The other thing is I love the moments where Zuko goes to Iroh. I love the moment where Zuko goes to Iroh and starts calling him crazy and yells at him, and you just see him sitting in his cell, won't even face him. Clearly looks angry, from at least that's what you first assume. But then Zuko comes a second time to visit Iroh, screams at him, says you're and begs him for help, admitting that he knows that the Avatar is alive. And Iroh this time is in tears, which is clearly because he wants Zuko to find his way. And that's something we will see later in the season, but I won't talk about that for right now. And yeah, all that's really great. And then you see the end of the episode where Zuko hires an assassin to murder the Avatar, which is crazy, but yikes. So, yeah, that's the episode. Really good episode of the show. Can't believe we're almost the end of the show. I'm really going to hate not talking about this show every week. I mean, I'm going to be talking about Korra, but to be real, Korra is not as good, and I'm not going to have as much stuff to talk about with Korra as I do with this show.